Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live with our final round online karting league Africa. This is round 4 of the African Championship, fourth and final. We're at Killarney down in Cape Town, South Africa. What a facility. The Temple of Speed in South Africa. My home track. I absolutely love this. Pure bias towards this track, if I'm honest. We've got 13, hopefully 14 cards on track. We are still waiting to see if Daniel Labaskachny is going to actually make it onto the track. He seems to be having connection problems once more, unfortunately. But hopefully we can get him on to the server. We've got about 4 more minutes of practice before we head over into qualifying. Before we do that, let's have a quick look at what the championship standings are before drop round. So Jason Kutsia for Toyota Gazoo is leading the way on 63 points. Lucas Sturman for Angry Esports is on 51. Matteo Sujal for Angry Esports on 41. Then Tristan Duplessis, father and son, 37 points. And then we've got Keegan, Ruben Victor rather, for Angry Esports on 37 as well. And then Massey Hicks for NBR on 28. So that is pre-drop round. So if we drop their worst round at the moment, it is Kutsia and Sturman locked in 45 each, with Sudial in 41. Tristan Duplessis will be on 36, and then Ruben Victor on 30. So realistically speaking, we're looking at 4 drivers still in a shot for the title. Victor will have to win this race and hope everybody above him doesn't score if he wants to get past just on drop rounds. So that's it might be a little bit of a stretch. But we'll see. We'll see. Realistically speaking, it's probably going to be between Kutsia and Sturman, and Matteo Sudial might be able to pull one out of the hat here tonight. If we look at the 2 worst rounds scored, Sturman will drop a 11th place round, which was his first round of the season, and Kutsia will drop a... Where's that? A 4th place, 18 points he drops from his title contention. So if he scores better tonight, he'll be in a good spot, as well as Sturman. It's pretty much whoever finishes ahead of the other one really will probably win the title based off that, unless they both score quite low. Then their drop rounds will come into play really good there. It will be an important race for these two. Sturman winning the South African Championship earlier this season. And Jason Kutsia wants to get his season, or end his season off on a really good note and bag himself the African title. But there's still a little bit of a dark horse in the form of Matteo Sujal, who's had a really good last round at Tony Rist, who took maximum points from that round. Sudial on 41 points with his 1 drop round, which was the first round, and that is a DNF. So yeah, let's see what Sudial can do. But again, Tristan Duplessis can still also come into play on 36 points. He's going to have to hope that the boys in front of him takes each other out and scores pretty much 0 points. Or score worse than their previous drop round, so that they remain on 45, and Duplessis might bag maximum points tonight. If he does, he can still win this title. So that's where we're at. We'll see. So two dark horses in the form of Sudial and Duplessis. It's all to play for between Kutsia and Sturman. Alright, before we go into qualifying, let's have a quick review of this track, Killarney in Cape Town. Let's move it over quickly. Alright, down into turn 1, that's holes, and then into the kink, turn 2 and 3, then 180s for the first 180s, 5 is the second 180s. You're going to go flat out of 5 into the S's 6 and 7. It's flat out through there. You throw that cart into the corner, down the back straight into Cosmic. It's 8, 9, 10, 11. That's called the Golf Club. And then 12, 13, 14, 15. That's all part of Pit Pen. And onto the start finish straight once more. That's a quick lap. It's about 45, 46 seconds a lap on the Tillotson, the 4-stroke cart. We are looking at a 3.41 meter elevation. That is not a lot of elevation. It's a lot more than what you actually think if you stand on the track. So only 3 meters worth of elevation. And that is it for a quick view of Killarney. And that's the perfect timing. We're heading into qualifying. First one out on track. Sebastian Diaz joining the track in his Kart Republic. Well, he's got the Against the Odds Esports livery on his kart, but he's driving for Kart Republic Africa. Kart Republic suit. First one on track will be Sebastian Diaz. Like I said, there is 14 karts. Did Labuschagne make it on? No, he's still stuck in sinking. So Labuschagne is not able to get onto the track. He's still having issues getting onto the race servers. Mark Pollard, Tristan Duplessis, Keegan Massey, Taylor Poshumus, Sebastian Diaz, Labuschagne, Orbi, Sovade, Sturman, Victor, Sudel, Stewart, Kutsia, and Wilson. That's the 14 karts we have available on track tonight. Daniel Labuschagne doesn't seem like he's going to be able to get out into the qualifying session. We're not going to look at the first laps because everybody crosses the line as they come out of the pit. So those are all there. It's probably just an out lap. This is the first lap. We are on board with Sebastian Diaz for his first lap. He's the first one that will cross the line. Ducking, trying to maximize his lap time at the back there. Oh, we're missing one of the newcomers from last race. Van der Merwe, who had such a real good race. I wonder what happened that he's not online tonight. That's unfortunate. Alright, let's see. First hot laps coming out. Sebastian Diaz crossing the line. He does a 40... Oh, no, here we go. Ruben Victor, 47.3. That's the first lap on the board. That's the fastest lap so far. Jono Wilson... No, Mark Pollard is the first one into the 46s. Mark Pollard from Against All Odds Racing. And then, as I say that, the two Kazoo boys coming out in the 46s as well. We see the form of Jono Wilson and Jason Kutsia. Will Jono Wilson be able to help his teammate in any way tonight, getting himself between Kutsia and Sturman? That remains to be seen. There's a lot of guys racing for the same teams, so will we see any form of teamwork happening? As long as it's within the rules, I guess it's okay. Wilson is still leading the way. Wilson's getting a good tow from Kutsia. You probably want it the other way around because you want Kutsia to be ahead of Lucas Sturman. Kutsia's gonna cross the line. He moves himself. No, he doesn't move himself up. Jono Wilson goes on to a 46.599. And then Mark Pollard in third place. Only a little bit more than 2.5 tenths off the pace there. Still a really good lap considering he's not getting any tow. Yeah, Labuschagne seems like he's logged off of the race. Here comes Sturman. Is Sturman going to help, or is Pollard going to help Sturman? No, he's not. He's going to just throw that cart out to the outside. Let's see what Sturman does. Crossing the line now. Well, into pit pen rather. Going downhill. And then going back up here onto the start finish. Sturman remains in 6th place. He's not doing what he needs to do. Who else? We've got Sudel, who's also a title contender, further down in 9th place. So advantage for Jason Kutsia heading into the first half of our qualifying session. All Kutsia needs to do is remain ahead of Sturman, essentially. If he finishes ahead of Sturman, he wins the title. Right, we're going to head into our second half of the qualifying session. Jason could see edges a little bit closer to Jono Wilson now. Could see us benefiting from a proper tow there. Wilson's working hard to get Could see a good tow, pulling him along into the lap. He's going to get out of the way. I think Could see us up on that lap, definitely. Must be. He's gotten a proper tow there from his teammate. Jason could see her crossing the line now. Does he improve? No, he lifts off. All right. So he's going to reset. I think they're doing another reset lap. Jason could see is going to want Jono Wilson to pull him along properly into this last section or last bit of the lap. And they'll have to reset once more though. We are on board with the 214 of Keegan Massey Hicks, one of the newcomers in the African Championship. We're in the OKL space this year. And it's been good to see Massey Hicks get online and having some good laps and showing some true pace. Everybody is trying to get a tow from each other, staying out of each other's way though. That's good to see. Jono Wilson's heading into the pits. Jason could see her. Not. Let's see what Massey Hicks does. He seems like he's climbing a curb a little bit more than what he's supposed to. He crosses the line. He's 3.7 off. He gains about 30 milliseconds really, but not enough. No one wants to give each other tow. Everybody's just tucking in behind each other and no one wants to get out of the way. Alright, Jude Stewart. He's just remaining behind Jason could see at the moment. So Jude Stewart is trying to get benefit from the tow as well. Stewart is 7/10 of the pace. Lucas Sturman is a bit out of place, if I'm honest. And even Lucas Sturman lifting over the line, trying to get a benefit of a tow. I know Luca Sturman and Sebastian Diaz are good mates. And they love racing together, so maybe that's why Sturman let Diaz get by. Maybe he wants to tuck in behind Diaz. Diaz is up into third place. I've actually missed him crossing the line, getting a good lap on the board. So Diaz just a little bit to 2.5 tenths off the lead there. So let's see. Sturman's now going to get into the tail of Diaz. Maybe he's going to pull him along. That gap might be a little bit too small there. Yeah, that seems to be good actually. As long as Diaz does a good lap, he should be able to pull Sturman along onto that last part of the qualifying and maybe get him a couple positions closer to Kutsia. Not necessarily something we want to see, because when Kutsia and Lucas Sturman gets together, it just generally becomes chaotic. The two of them are so close on pace, and as you can see, they are smack dead on the same points after drop round, 45 each. Here we go. Let's see. Sturman on the back straight. He's trying to catch onto the back. It seems like the gap's actually gotten bigger. Sebastian Diaz has got more pace than Sturman at the moment. But let's see what happens when they cross the line. Any improvements? The two of them have stayed out, so they would have dropped a little bit of the fuel load off that carts, the fixed setup carts by now. No, Sturman remains. Diaz did improve on his lap. Good see ya. Still just a little bit off the pace, but the two Kazoo boys are as close as you can get, really. Let's see. Kutsia crosses the line this time around. Where does he end up with his lap time? It does not improve this time around. Next across the line will be, that is Ruben Victor, the 248. Newcomer to the Angry Esports setup. Victor has had a decent season, actually. Pollard crossing the line, not improving that time around. Diaz does improve once more. Sturman not improving that lap around. Sturman can't find the pace he requires to take the championship so far. But as we know, it's not all about the pace, it's about consistency as well. And Tristan Duplessis, fresh back from the T4 Nations Cup in a kart he's very familiar with, the Tillotson. Coming back into the simulator a couple days later. And he's straight into OKL. Again, like his brother, commitment to the cause. And it's cool to see the boys coming in and having a good race. As long as they all keep it nice and clean, that's the only thing that matters. Mateo Sujal is again only in 9th place, so he's a bit far off. A bit too far off. So who's going to be the last person to start this qualifying lap will be the 204. Not the 204, what am I saying? The 214 of Massey X is the last one to cross the line before the timer hit 0. Sujal improved on his lap, moved by only 1 position though, so that's not ideal. Then Orby is in 9th place. Here comes Jude Stewart finishing his final lap in qualifying. Doesn't improve. Wilson doesn't improve. Let's see who else on track. We've got the 215 of Posthumous crossing the line, as well as Victor not improving. Sovade not improving. Sturman not improving that time around. Massey X, in fact, actually has improved and got himself up ahead of Sturman. So Sturman's been bumped down a position into 6th place. So that is advantage. Jason Kutsia is in the hot seat at the moment. Second place in qualifying means as long as he finishes ahead of Sturman in the pre-final and final, or the final rather, because that's where the points are scored, he should be good. Alright, apologies for the silence. I just had a quick chat with the stewards there just to make sure everything's okay. And we had a couple disqualifications. What happens there is the guys get a DSQ whilst trying to... I mean, it happens. They just get a disqualification while standing on the grid. Sometimes it's a lag spike. We allow 3 of those restarts. And then we'll get going. If anybody doesn't make it to the grid after the 3rd restart, we will race without them. Here we go. This is going to be a big race. It's an important piece of race in the sense of qualifying. It's a qualifying heat, so wherever you finish in this heat is where you'll start your final. Jason Kutsia is in P2. Lucas Sturman, who's equal on points after the drop around, is in 6th place. So Kutsia has got the advantage. Sturman's got a lot to do this time around. He's going to have to navigate his way through. Will he have some friends in the form of Diaz, Pollard? Will Massey Hicks be a problem for Sturman? Everybody else around him is pretty much his teammates. We've got a bunch of Angry Esports boys on the track. It doesn't matter how many Angry Boys is on the track. We've got 2 Kazoo Racing boys in front, in the form of Jono Wilson and Jason Kutsia. 2 very well-known drivers in South Africa in the karting space. Let's see, Sebastian Diaz. Mark Pollard is, and Lucas Timman, I believe, are the only sim racers on this grid. Everybody else does actual racing. Let's just check. I think Labaskachny is still off the server. So all they need to do is just eject. There we go. Keep him off because he can't join. Alright, we're in the start sequence. Jason Kutsia, Jono Wilson leading the way. Let's lights out and away we go. Good start there by Kutsia, and Wilson immediately moving over to block off the attack there from Sebastian Diaz. Sebastian Diaz is going to have to move out onto the outside into holes. Mark Pollard already attacking Diaz immediately. Oh, we see some guys pushing each other off in the back there. All the front runners got away cleanly. Down the inside goes Lucas Sturman. Massey Hicks getting out of the way immediately. He didn't want to have a fight with Sturman there. Mark Pollard's going to do no one favors. He's going to want to fight and move himself up and finish his season strong. Pollard, Diaz, Kutsia, Wilson, that's the top 4. And then the title contender here, Lucas Sturman in 5th place, has got a lot to do. 10 laps of this pre-final. Everybody pretty much keeping formation. That's a really good start overall. I believe everybody seems to be going and facing the right way. So that's a fantastic start. Well done, gents. That's lap 1 done and dusted. Out of the way it goes. One more lap towards the title for Kutsia. And one more headache for Lucas Sturman as he's gone around Mark Pollard. Mark Pollard getting out of the way there actually. So everybody's, well, the drivers that's not in title contention is actually really doing favors here for Sturman, because they're not really fighting him. They understand and appreciate there's a fight happening up front. However, Jason Kutsia is going to sit under his helmet, his virtual helmet, and think, why on earth are you guys not fighting for track position? But as long as the two Kazoo boys continue working hard with their pace, they are breaking away from Diaz, he's not on pace at the moment. He's not far off. But still, that's 8 tenths the gap between 1st and 3rd. So Kutsia and Wilson working together well. No fighting between them. Holding formation and just moving forward as swiftly as they possibly can. Oh, I see another mistake there. Mark Pollard has moved down one more position. So Pollard has lost another position. Massey Hicks back into the swing of things now. Let's just see what's happening further down the pack. That's Sturman in 5th. Sturman's got a time penalty as well. So Sturman has got a lot to do. He's already got a 1 second time penalty. That's not ideal. It's going to take him down a position on the starting of the final. Then Massey Hicks. Then Mark Pollard. Then we've got Tony Orby, Jude Stewart. We've got Ruben Victor. Tristan Duplessis moving up a good amount of positions there in his FA car today. Then we've got Matteo Sujal and Tristan Duplessis, who's the potential dark horses of the title contention, but they are very far down the grid, so they're not doing what they need to do to come into play here. And then we've got down the inside goes Tyler Postumus on Joshua Savade. And we're back at the front. 13 carts on track. And this is a absolute phenomenal start by Team Gazoo here. Two boys working together, working at gaining the best possible lap times and breaking away from the main title contender in the form of Lucas Sturman for Angry Esports. Jono Wilson as clean and consistent as he can be up front, making sure his teammate Jason Kutsia gets the advantage from that toe. And there's no reason for them to even have to swap positions at the moment. The only thing that matters is that they finish the race and start ahead of Sturman in that final, and that's where the points are on offer. So this is, like I said, a qualifying heat. These are our juniors and our seniors division. Not juniors, I mean our seniors and masters division rather. Only master driver on the track is the 133 of Mark Pollard. Everybody else in the number 200s, that is our section or numbers split for the seniors, and Sebastian Diaz moving out of the way of Lucas Sturman. As I said, Sturman's got some good mates on this track, on this server tonight, so it's all of them keeping out of his way, not forcing anything unnecessary. It seems like either Mark Pollard or Massey Hicks has got some internet issues. I just want to have a quick look at the ping. We need to eject Labaskachny off the server. All the ping seems fine. Labaskachny is still trying to join the race server when he clearly has connection problems. And every time he tries to join, it causes a lag spike on the actual server. And we don't want any drivers to be taken out because of that. We're on lap 7 of 10. Alright, Mark Pollard making a bit of a mistake then. That takes out Massey Hicks, and that causes absolute chaos in the golf club there. Everybody makes it out though. Wow, crazy. That just flipped the whole script there up front, well, in the mid-pack there. Oh, look at this. Look at up front. No, it's Garcia still in second. I thought I saw the two helmet swap. I thought maybe John Wilson's doing the important thing there, letting his teammate by, but they're still leading the way. Lap 8 of 10. Wow, a little bit of a mistake there by Mark Pollard, and everybody just clipped each other into the golf club, or on the exit of golf club rather, which wasn't ideal, but they all managed to survive. Luckily, they only have some virtual bruises. It will be more ego bruises than anything else there for the boys that just clipped each other on track. Lap 9 of 10. One more to go. Well, 2 more to go rather. Sturman's done what he needed to do to move himself up a couple positions. However, there's still a gap. A 1 second penalty that Sturman needs to work for. He needs to break away so he can start in 3rd position. And then we've got Sudyal now up into, what is that, 5th place. So again, Sudyal benefited there from a little bit of chaos, moves himself up a couple positions. It's just an angry train after this, really. Jude Stewart also running well there in 7th place at the moment. And that's the start of our final lap. Jason Garcia just fell off. Did he get a time penalty there? No, he didn't. Sorry. No time penalty there by Jason Garcia. I thought there was a bit of a penalty. It's just maybe just accepting his fate. And as you can see, exactly what I thought was going to happen. You can see Sebastian Diaz lifting off, giving Lucas Sturman the 1 second advantage so he can start in 3rd place. Now, like I said, these two are really good mates in real life, and they do a lot of sim racing together, and clearly they understand what needs to be done in the fairest possible way, and that is allowing Sturman to start the race in 3rd place next to Jason Garcia. But will Sturman have the pace though? That remains to be seen. Sturman hasn't really lit up the timing sheets in this pre-final, but the finals where the points are, will he be able to come back at Garcia? Garcia just needs to stay ahead. As long as he finishes ahead of Sturman and ahead of their drop rounds, as long as they don't score lower than the lowest drop rounds, then they should be good. But Garcia did everything he needed to do in that race. He remained ahead of Sturman. Sturman's had a little bit of a helping hand from some of his mates, in the form of Pollard moving out of the way, as well as Diaz just letting him go by, realizing that there's a fight up front and they don't want to be the deciding factors. It seems like it, at least. I mean, I might be completely wrong. I'm just a commentator throwing conspiracies out there. But it is the final race of the African Championship, the title decider between Garcia and Sturman. Or will there be chaos? Will someone like Duplessis and Sudyal be able to pick up something, you know, some of the scraps happening up front, and will they score good points? Oops, there goes the first disqualification, and that is in the form of Tillotson Duplessis. You'll get a restart moment there, don't worry about that. There we go. Will we see Duplessis, but he's quite far back though, as well as Sudyal. Sudyal's in the middle of the pack. Duplessis is pretty much starting right at the back, which is not ideal. However, it's not impossible to win from there though. We've seen it last year in the OKL World Finals, where Alphonse Kiwi started the pre-final in smack dead last position, and he came back and he started the final, I believe, in the middle of the pack, and he won the race. And that was a full 20 card grid, so it's possible. I've seen someone start in 20th place in the online karting and finish the race in P1, so it's not impossible. But based off the consistency from Coetzee and Sturman, and Wilson and even Diaz up front, I don't see, unless they take each other out, something like that happening. And also, if it is seen that they took each other out deliberately and deemed a deliberate foul play, there's definitely bans on offer. So we definitely want the boys to race it hard, clean and fair, and you have to win it on merits, right? So P1, Jono Wilson not in the title contention as far as I'm aware. Yeah, because Wilson only scored in one of the 3 races so far. He had a DNF in Formula K, a 0 in Mozambique, and then a 2nd place in Tony Rist in Namibia. So not in the title fight is Jono Wilson, but he is here to prove that he is one of the best drivers in South African karting. Whether it's in real life, whether it's in the sim, Wilson wants to lead these boys at the end of lap 1. Alright, we are on the start sequence. The boys are already tucking up front. Jason Kutsia, Lucas Sturman. This is the final. It's lights on and away we go. Great start there by Jono Wilson moving, not Wilson, I mean, or immediately Sturman and Kutsia clipping each other there. Kutsia getting the better of that first corner exchange there. Sturman maybe just realizing that wasn't for him and he just lifted off a bit there. I see Pollard and I think it's Posthumous clipping each other at the back there, unfortunately. But it is Wilson versus Kutsia versus Sturman versus Diaz. That's the 4-way battle up front at the moment. Look at that. Immediately breaking away is Jason Kutsia. Jono Wilson's going to have to work with his teammate or get out of the way because his teammate can't be fighting him when Lucas Sturman's going to catch onto the back of them. And here comes Lucas Sturman. He's in the tow now. But with the pace Jono Wilson has, he's definitely going to pull his teammate along. It's all about can Sturman tuck in and keep with these guys for the next couple laps, because there's no point in passing right now. Oh, Sturman goes for a hard lunge down the inside on Jason Kutsia. Oh no, Sturman takes out Jason Kutsia. That is a hard and unfortunate incident. Now it's all about, will Kutsia be able to do a good comeback drive? What is happening? And this is exactly what I was talking about. Is this the time of the dark horse? Will Sudyal come into play now? Because almost definitely want to say there will be a penalty for Sturman on Kutsia based off how he passed. Late lunge pushed Kutsia off the track there and Kutsia spun out. So he lost quite a lot of positions. However, there's still a lot of laps remaining. Oh, there goes Savada there. Oh, now Jude Stewart comes into play now. Oh, Jude Stewart out of nowhere was in 7th place. He's up into P2. It is blatantly obvious what Jono Wilson's doing right now. Jono Wilson is holding this pack up. He is not going to let them just get away. As I say that, Jude Stewart just barges his way through. And here comes all of the angry boys. Mateo Sudyal sniffing something. Mateo Sudyal is now on hunt here. Sudyal is smelling a title in the African Championship. And that's what I said. Something odd can happen just like that. Already have 2 retired carts out of the race. That's Mark Pollard. 3. Make it 3. Savade, Pollard, and Posthumous out of the race. But the title fight is up front. And you can clearly see Jono Wilson is doing everything he can to help his teammate. It's not about Jude Stewart. Jude Stewart can break away according to Wilson. You can clearly see what's happening now. And as I say that, where is Jason Kutsia? He's still there. Jason Kutsia is still in the hunt. He's not out of this race as of yet. He's currently in 9th place. There's 11 laps to go. Will Jason Kutsia be able to come back at Sturman? Sturman's got a whole host of carts behind him, and there's still a big margin between him and Kutsia. But like we've seen with the likes of Troy Dolenchek in previous championships, he got taken out on lap 1 and he still finishes in 1st. So it is entirely possible. And now Jude Stewart is fighting with Jono Wilson. So Jono Wilson knows where his pace is, and he's going to fight Stewart and make sure that Stewart holds him up, because he will then in turn hold up the rest of the pack. And Jono Wilson moves himself up, and look at that. Look at everybody catching onto the back of them now. This is not over by a long shot. It's not the fairest of races or the cleanest of races, but there's still a title on offer here. And here comes Jono Wilson now on Lucas Sturman's moved past Wilson. Wilson start fighting Sturman. Sebastian Diaz is right behind him as well as Tony Orby. Massey X is in the fray as well. So there's a big train of carts. Here comes Jono Wilson. He's going to get all over the back of Lucas Sturman's now defending. So once again, this is all playing into the hands of Jason Kutsia. Jason Kutsia is just behind him. He's not fourth. Sturman is now in P1. Oh, there comes a big late lunge by Massey Hicks. It is 3 wide into the 180. Second 180 is not ideal. Sturman's got the lead, but we know the pace is with Wilson. Wilson's definitely faster than everybody else on this track. So Wilson's going to do exactly what he needs to do. And he's going to fight Sturman as much as he possibly can. Because it means Sturman needs to go on the defense. That will keep him up. Make him slower every lap. And Jason Kutsia is now caught onto the back of this pack. Jason Kutsia is now into the hunt. Once again. He's passed 2 guys in the space of 1 corner out of the exit of Golf Club. And as I said, Wilson's pretty much done the job. He's kept up this whole pack now, and Kutsia is 4 carts behind Wilson. I mean, rather, he's 4 carts behind Sturman. But Sturman's got a little bit of a breather now, so Sturman is breaking away. And again, Wilson needs to catch him, and he needs to fight him. That's all he needs to do to get Kutsia back into the hunt. Because Kutsia doesn't want to leave the title decider up to a penalty. I mean, yes, if a penalty is there and it was fairly given, yes, 100%. But if there's no penalty and he just held back because he thought Sturman would get a 5-place penalty or 5-second penalty or anything like that, you know, then he hasn't done everything in his power to win this race. Oh, and now going down the inside was Wilson there. Oop, Massey gets a love tap from the side. Another position by Jono Wilson. He's now currently in 5th place. It is a angry train with 2 odd kazoo carts in the middle of them. And Matteo Sudial is not going to want to do Lucas Sturman any favors because Sudial can win this title on his own. Lap 9 of 15. It is a crazy race so far. And not far of these guys. Kutsia is just behind him now. Doesn't seem like he's making enough grounds. But as I say that, here comes Jono Wilson once more. He's going to tuck in. That's 2 positions lost there by Sturman. Jude Stewart's gotten into the fray there. Sturman's now having to lift off, and that opens the door. Look at Kutsia. He's now right onto the back of this pack. He had a little bit of a gap between them, but now he's back into the fight. Here comes Jude Stewart now. He's crossing the line. He's pushing. Oops. Jude Stewart and Jono Wilson pushing each other off the track there. And Kutsia's got Massey X on his inside now. Kutsia doesn't want to fight any of these guys. He wants to get past them. And Sudial has gone out wide and he's lost 4 positions in the space of 1 corner. Massey X goes into the inside. Massey X fights. Oh, they're clipping Jason Kutsia. It is chaos. It is absolute chaos into the 180s because everybody's trying to move up a position. And the only thing Kutsia wants to do is catch onto the back of Sturman. And Sturman's now broken away from the whole pack. Let's keep an eye on what Kutsia's doing. Kutsia's going to move down the inside of Orby. He clips the inside of Orby, who clips Massey X, who clips Jude Stewart. So there's a lot of carnage. And I'm fairly certain there'll be a lot of penalty reviews coming in. But if we look at what's happening on track now, Kutsia is now in 3rd place. Jason Kutsia is now up into 3rd place. Sebastian Diaz has moved himself back into the hunt here, having a good fight with these boys. Stewart has retired, Savada's retired. Down the inside goes Sebastian Diaz on Jason Kutsia. Everybody is fighting for positions. But all that carnage has given Lucas Sturman the absolute power to break away from this pack. He's gotten the opportunity to break away, but Again, will there be penalties in play there? There was a big late lunge from Sturman on Kutsia, pushing him off the track, causing him to spin out, which is a very unfortunate scenario for a title hunt between the two drivers. And if I'm honest, I don't want to be the steward. I definitely don't want to be the race steward after tonight, that's for sure. Tony Orby's come back into the fray here. Orby on Kutsia now. Orby is all over the back of Kutsia after Kutsia passed the Diaz, and Diaz trying to fight. Here comes Diaz on Orby once more. He's going to send it down the inside of the RPM driver. Koch Republic versus Gazoo versus RPM. It is an absolute battle. So many time penalties that Massey Hicks, Massey Hicks he's got all the time penalties. He's in third on track, but he's got so many time penalties that he's pushed back so far. But Lucas Sturman is now more than a second ahead. Jason Kutsia, based off all the time penalties on track, is only in... He's in third place. Sorry, so he's, based off all the time penalties, moved himself up into third place. Massey Hicks is quite far back due to all the penalties. And then Sujal and Duplessis is fighting on track now. This has been an absolute chaotic race. Crazy race. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys retired from the race already. Just due to all the chaos, all the fighting on track. Wilson in third is not catching. He's catching Sturman, but not by enough. Not by as much as he needs to. Then Massey Hicks, with all the time penalties, is promoted or demoted back into fourth place, even though he's third on track. Massey Hicks just runs wide as we go onto him. And he's off. He spins out. He's going to bring his car. He's got an issue with his steering wheel. Definitely got an issue with his steering wheel. I could see he's moving forward, but the wheel's not turning. So technical failure there for Massey Hicks from what I could see. That's very unfortunate. It is survival of the fittest. We have gone into the last lap now. Leading the way is Lucas Sturman on our final lap. But one has to think that there's a possible penalty coming towards Sturman for that late lunge on Kutsia. We'll see. All I can say is, luckily I'm not the one reviewing it. That is for the stewards, the series admins, or the stewards and the COC to have a look at. That's going to be very tough. But Lucas Sturman crosses the line in P1 with Jono Wilson in P2 and then Jason Kutsia in P3. Now, if Sturman does get a penalty, and if it was deemed a bump based off the rules in the OKL book and the FIA karting regulations, that will be a 5-place penalty just based off the law. So that would put Kutsia up ahead of Sturman, but that is me purely speculating if there will be a penalty. But again, guys, that was a fantastic race. It was chaos, and then some more chaos with a lot of teamwork coming into play. The guys holding each other up to get Jason Kutsia back into play, and then the Angry Boys trying to get ahead of Wilson to try and keep him out of the fight of Sturman. But yeah, overall, great stuff, great season. This was another awesome season, proudly presented to you by Online Karting League, or OKL. This was the African Championship. We're not done for the season. We're done with the African Championship, but there's many more races to come. We've got a potential special event that would be an endurance race, 1 or 1.5 hours worth of endurance in the 4-stroke karts. Yes, once again, we're going to do some 4-strokes. And then there is the OKL World Final. The track that we will be racing on remains to be seen. We are currently busy building Sarno in Italy. Then the next track that we will be building will be Francoforte. So we are looking at one of those tracks potentially for the World Final. Last year's OKL World Final was raced at Formula K down in South Africa. This year we're going to go overseas and we're going to do a race over in it. We could potentially even still go to Paul Fletcher International. So there's many options for us, and there's many more things coming for the season. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. My name's Sean Loebscher. I hope you guys were entertained by that. It was an epic race. There was a lot of carnage. There's definitely going to be penalties for sure. Will the title be decided based on penalties? That remains to be seen. But thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you guys for, well, tomorrow night. If you want to tune in tomorrow night at 9 o'clock South African time, that's 8 o'clock British summertime for the British Championship, or the European Championship rather. And that race will be at Kecskemét in Hungary. So that should be a fun one. We'll see you guys for that one tomorrow night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye.